Welcome everybody, welcome back to the Tomb of Illumination. Tomb of Illumination, formerly Flat Earth Physics. This video is another video about Dumber and Dumber, Arsehole Jake and QNFee. These two have their own Flat Earth sites on YouTube. So instead of concentrating my energy on the they're mentally retarded globe theory believers who are just, I shouldn't call them retarded, but they're indoctrinated. They don't know what they don't know, and they're not interested. Otherwise they'd be seeking, they'd probably find these sites, but we'll leave them out of it because they're in dodo land. They're in the matrix, mind controlled through the system. Or you have the paid guys who have to keep forcing the globe theory out there, so all the simple brained people just keep believing it. So we'll forget them for now. Let's just deal with the ignorant who are supposed to be flat earthers, apparently. I'm wondering why I haven't been on their sites. Why would I go on their sites, on their shows? They just showed how ignorant they are by a couple of videos they did on me. Totally ignorant. So they've never heard of me. Maybe they heard of this guy way back, but they haven't heard of me apparently. Well, this guy has, but this guy hadn't heard of me since coming on, prior to coming on Jeronism. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with the Jeronism show, but 150, 200 people came over to my site. This guy seemed to know that. But my site's gone dead ever since then. It's stayed at that 150, that's it. Unless you've gone back a few. So it's not going anywhere. So going on Jeronism, they've latched onto the fact that I know what I'm talking about and they're trying to completely shut me down. And this idiot's trying to say, well, no one's heard of me. Well, obviously not, because when you tell the truth, you know what you're talking about. They don't want people to know about me. But these guys talking crap all the time, and all these other flat earthers, they don't give a shit about them because they're in la la land, or they're following a script to keep people confused and away from the truth. I expose all the truth. I've got the whole flat earth model. The only guy on the internet has got it, and it's all verifiable by, I can confirm it all through ancient text. It's all written. They all knew all the physics of the earth way back. You can go right back to the image of the Olmec's head, Assyrian. You've got the zodiac. You've got the Assyrian, the Mayan zodiac. What's that called? You got the Egyptian, all the Egyptian stories. It's all through religion, but the Bible is a book of physics. No one can even comprehend that. Let alone comprehend the true, workings of the flat earth model. So these guys, they must have a lot of dumb followers because they've never even checked out my site either, obviously. Otherwise they would have brought stuff up and these guys would have looked at it. So none of them have even seen this model of how the earth works. Everything revolves around the center northern hemisphere. Just like this. As the center turns, they all turn. So this dipshit here, Jake, was saying, oh no, it's QNFee going on about how to explain this 90 degrees south at the same time, at the same moments, viewing to the, to the south, 90 degrees, seeing all these images at the same time, because it's all projected from the center point. These yellow parts are the Milky Ways. There's a Milky Way in the southern hemisphere and a Milky Way in the northern hemisphere. Look how it lined up. What time of the year does that line up? So you've got this system going on daily, where one full rotation here, 360 degrees, revolves this. But you've got to imagine this ball here, this circle, moves all the way around the center. As this turns, that image revolves all the way around. So they're all these southern hemispheres are revolving west. Okay, they're not sitting there stationary, but if you had a time-lapse camera and just filming the southern stars, you'd get this full-time circle because you haven't moved. You haven't moved, but those stars have. They move out of the picture, but you don't know. All you see is a circle. It's a permanent circle because it all comes out of the center vortex, right in the center Arctic, where everything is turning. Our whole worldly system, our whole realm, gets turned in a full-time 15-degree turning vortex in the center Arctic, a place that we cannot get to, right in here. We're out here, can't get in there. So as that turns, everything is turning. But we need to set this up so all this, as this turns, these ones here, they move right around the circle. That would be the full image of how it works. Okay? See, they're going in the opposite directions. That's how it all works. So they haven't even seen this. Thanks to one of my subscribers in New Zealand here. Area is his name, I think. Now, understanding the two hemispheres. Now, the two hemispheres, our earthly system is like two ring magnets. It's a dual system. You've never been taught all this stuff. So just, if you're ignorant, you're probably not even here, but if you're looking, you've got to understand till this video is finished that I actually know what I'm talking about. Just imagine that. Just imagine I'm the only guy who knows what he's talking about, just for the period of this video, okay? And then your brain might start thinking, might start working properly. Open up and start figuring a few things out. So just pretend for the length of this video that I'm the only guy who knows what he's talking about and he wants to explain it all to you. So you can get the whole picture. If you want to go away and be an ignorant drongo like these two, then you just do that. But for now, just pretend that I know what I'm talking about. Earth is a dual system. There's the northern hemisphere and the southern one revolves all the way around it. Okay? It's like a meshing cog. The cog, they mesh. As this turns all the way around. Okay? See this one here? I've only drawn 3 of these outer southern hemispheres. They're all going to move this way. So, and this is how the energy spins out of the northern hemisphere, like that. So this is the pattern the stars take over the night. That's why it's called the spider web in celestial navigation in the northern hemisphere. Because all the stars, they move like this. That's Earth's toroidal field. Comes out of the centre here, spirals out of the centre like that. If any of you follow Ken Wheeler's, you see his hand go like that? Well, that's what it does. So the field comes out like that. All the celestial bodies are in there. And as this turns, it mirrors an image out to the south. All the way out, anywhere around the south, it's mirrored an image. It depends on where you are, what meridian line you're on, as to what slice of the pie you will get in your southern sky. Especially if you think about just time-lapse photography, you set your camera up facing the Sigma Octantis. That rotation you're seeing in the southern hemisphere sky is a rotation of this here, but a slice of the pie. You're only getting what's going on in this slice of the pie, because it's straight through that meridian, because this guy's will be slightly different. He's getting this magnetic field wave line, isn't he? Or this one. He's not getting your one. It's a magnetic field wave line. You can imagine these as arcs of longitude, okay? Because that's basically what they are. I mean, but they're infinite. They could be anywhere. You could be on any one of them. So they're not straight, are they? Well, this is declination when you're sailing and following a compass bearing. Okay? It's what they call magnetic north, but it's not geomagnetic north. Geo north is up here. So you're not getting compass reading from there to your north, are you? No, you're getting your north trail going this way. All the way around that curve. And this is why we have the gyro lasers now. Take on it, they set them up, they know where north and all that is, worked it all out. What to allow for all this declination. 11 degrees, 11-point-something degrees. See, these curves were, and this is all written about way back in the, I can't remember, 16, 17, 18, what, 16 or 17th century, wasn't it? Was it Edmund Halley? When was he? He'd written all this down, 11 degrees, but it's all hidden. But it's been known since time began. All the ancients knew all about it. That's where I get all my information from. And then you get it all confirmed in this Enlightenment era they talk about in the 16th, 17th century, but that's just when they started plagiarizing all the ancient information, taking all the ancient texts and putting them into English, keeping them all private, like the USA have the Library of Congress. You find all the secrets in there, in the Library of Congress. What's they doing in there? Because they keep it from you. It's like the old captains of the sailing ships. They didn't want to teach the sailors how to sail a ship. Keep it all secret in case they create a mutiny or something and took over the ship or something. That sort of thing. They don't want everyone to know. So the Freemasons do not want anyone to know all this, because then they haven't, they can't control you. They're going to lose a slave, because you're all supposed to be indoctrinated and believe you live on the outside of a spinning ball, and NASA can take you places. So you keep paying NASA billions of dollars to follow the lie. So understanding the two hemispheres like two ring magnets, okay? So we've got two south poles here, look. That's how it works. That's why we have a tropical gap. Always got a tropical gap. Okay? So there's the tropical gap, say. It's obviously a lot wider. Nothing's to scale here, okay? So we've got a north, we've got a south, we've got a south, we've got a north. It's another big lie they haven't come clean with. This is the Arctic is a North Pole. So is the Antarctic a North Pole. Okay? They're both North Poles. The South Poles are up here, either side of the tropics. Excuse me. Okay, so let's just concentrate on the two rotations here, because this is man's. You're on one meridian, so every man is going to see this, no matter where he is around the flat earth. So if you want to call that the flat earth, no matter where he is around here, he's always on a line from north to south. Antarctic to the Arctic to the Antarctic. So what flat earthers need to realise now is stop dealing with north and south poles, because it's all been a con, it's a lie. We have to start using the words Arctic and Antarctic. Arctic and the Antarctic. Polaris, Polaris Australis. If you start using north and south poles, you're going to confuse people and keep the lie going, because the Antarctic is not the South Pole. It's a North Pole. They're both the same. The magnetic field comes out of the north, travels up here, drops down here at the south. It's the North Pole, goes to the South Pole, along the ground, up out of the Arctic. So they're both coming up. They're all the same. Ice, high pressure, seeking low pressure. The low pressure's in the tropics. That's what drives the wind to the low pressure. And then what gets created up through the tropics is the energy that keeps our realm going, because it builds up this electromagnetic induction, you could say, builds up the pressure and wants to seek out the low pressure of the Arctic, so it gets sucked over here via the Milky Way. The Milky Way comes up and over to here. It's like a straw in a cup that floats around the top of the cup. That's your daily cycle, because the sun is tucked into the Milky Way. When the sun goes round, that's your Milky Way straw moving around the earth. Okay? So it's mirrored here. So you could say as it comes out of here behind the north around this way, it's coming out of the south around this way. Southern hemisphere, okay? But don't get confused between a south pole and S for south, southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere. Everything works around the northern hemisphere. The first kingdom, middle kingdom, second kingdom. All the divine stories are all about the middle kingdom. What happens in the middle? The middle, right here. Not the equinox, but there. That's the divine. All the divine stories concern that point. So anyway, so back to the rotations here. So taking me as an example, I'm in the southern hemisphere, okay? And so now I'm 37 degrees, so okay, so I put the center rotation of the star trails, which is a mirrored image of this but inverted. I'm going to show you in this picture, okay? But you've got to realize there's like 3 layers to explaining this flat earth system. This is just one layer. It's like 3 layers. It's difficult. You've got to have like 3 sets of boards to draw up to start showing you degrees and all that, okay? So go with me here. That's the northern hemisphere, and now let's just imagine that this is my arc of horizon. Man's arc of horizon, 360 degrees all around him. He stands 90 degrees to the zenith. Okay? Like imagine if I'm in here. Everything comes back to the observer perpendicular off his arc of horizon. So I'm standing right there. No, I've just blown it by saying that. No. Well, bear that in mind too, because everything I observe is from my arc of horizon. But bring me over to here, in New Zealand. There's New Zealand, okay? And so I'm going to see the sun come from my right, which is east, move around over my horizon, and then disappear around to the west. So at the same time it's mirrored over here. He's in the north, look, it's coming from his east, moving around to his west. Okay, that's his west too. Now, so I've drawn it here. So I'm here and I'm looking north, okay? I'm looking north this way. Now I don't see all of this, do I? I only just see a little bit on the horizon. But you've just got to go like this. Fold it in half. Like that. So what's happened is, say, there's your northern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere star rotation in the night sky. You look up and there's the stars. They're going that way, like that. Okay? Going like that. And then what's happening? Look, that's coming down. And look, it's going to now be reversed. Reversed in the southern hemisphere. That's how I see it in the southern hemisphere. So your northern stars are now inverted. They're backwards. Okay? Get that? You see the stars come straight up off the center Arctic vortex. There's the vortex down here. That's the S-curve cycle of all the stars' motions, the moon and everything. And all the stars are in this vortex. We cannot get in there. It's all protected up into the northern sky. So there it is in the north, rotating out of the center vortex in there, okay? So you're seeing all the stars cast up into the sky there, like that. But in the south, due to this parabolic concave mirror, it brings this image down like this. So we start seeing it back this way. So it all gets projected back to the observer like this. So it's like that. Here's the north. Here's the north. Gets flipped and presented to the southern hemisphere like this. Backwards. Okay? So you've got to realise if I'm in the northern hemisphere, I'm seeing the sun on the left here, come up from the east. But I'm in the southern hemisphere, my sun's coming up from the right. So you've got to understand that. So I haven't got that on the top of my mind at the moment. But that's an explanation as to this image. Like let's go north, gets cast down to the south. Yeah, no, let's not go there. I haven't got that on top of my mind. But there's a flip, a diagonal flip. I've done it on other videos, but let's not go there for now. I don't want to get myself confused as well as you. Okay, so this is his question, or something he said about, or QNE, 90 degrees south at the same moment. There's some principle. So you can see anywhere around here is going to see his image out to the south at the same time, because it's all around the south, because it's all projected from the centre. So that's been answered. They're just too dumb to frickin' realise. Another thing with flat earthers, see, flat earthers don't know anything hardly. They're just gone with the flow. They've all believed in this firmament covering the earth. Well, the firmament is Ra-Kia. Ra-Kia. It's all about the sun in the Milky Way. It's not the dome covering the earth. It's the arch created at a certain time of the year when the two Milky Ways, there's a Milky Way in this hemisphere and there's a Milky Way in this hemisphere, both align and become straight from there to there. This goes really deep because, you know, it's curved like this. It ends up looking straight at a particular time of the year from hemisphere to hemisphere. And it's all to do with the magnetic field, the cycle of the earth, expansion and contraction. Okay? So imagine it's like a pyramid. You got the southern hemisphere, let's say Antarctica out here. Antarctica. It's out and around the outside. It's all around the outside of the northern hemisphere, isn't it? If you come up and in is up here, is the Arctic. Arctic, okay? The Egyptians are showing this in the pyramid. All these stepstones in the Great Pyramid of Khufu are representing the magnetic field that comes up, steps up, and out again. The two fields, the magnetic fields of Earth, they come like this. Look, see, they can't force themselves like that. It's the same thing as what's going on. That's another story. Anyway, they can't just come in like this. They go in like this. That's why they, in the Bible it's mentioned earthquakes, because it's subduction. The field goes like this. It comes into like here. It doesn't completely overlay like that though. But look, there's a point where it won't meet there, but there's a point where it's comfortable right there. Okay. Well, look, that's equilibrium. That's when the north and south find equilibrium. Not the equinox. That's magnetic equalization. Because the Earth is a 2 to 3 ratio, a 3 to 2 ratio. This field here isn't the same size as that. I've drawn them the same, but they're not. It's a 3 to 2. It's phi. It's the same. It's in the Symposium, I think it is. Plato's Dialogues. The unequal divided line is describing all this. It's a 3 to 2 ratio. And this is why, you know, man is not awake enough to understand what's going on here, you see. That when this meshing occurs. And how the magnetic field finds equilibrium. Here. The sun directly over the equator is a query this guy had. He's trying to say they simplify everything. I simplify everything. If they simplify all the bullshit they know nothing about, I try to simplify reality, what's actually happening. Whether people can understand it or not, that's a different thing. So, sun directly over the equator, where the sun's projection is equal, not Earth's magnetic field. Between the solstices. See? Equinox is just between the solstices. It's equal. Okay? I meant to go in a bit deeper with this. For a direct east to west path of the sun at the equinox. How does this occur? Through balance. This is why it is called equinox. Duh. Nox. Small hill with a round top, or round top hill. So we're always talking about the round, going up the mountain. It's right through religion. Understanding the two round cycles, finding equilibrium. We go Hebrew to more spiritual, deeper, spiritual strength, akin to a fortress on a hill. It's a bit deep for you guys at the moment, but it's about the 2 to 3 ratios. The difference between these two circles here. You can say the hill, and there's a circle on the hill. You've got to open your mind up to something like that. Like this, in that, in the meta, the symbol, where they show you this big curve here, and they show this little curve on top. They know. When you go really deep with this Hebrew understanding, spiritual strength akin to a fortress on the hill. We're talking about, and this is all related to the human's consciousness. It's all about his head. This earthly system is all about the man's head. This is why there's two hemispheres. You know, left to right this way, or split it down again, left and right. The human brain, okay? Man is of the earth. You come down here and you go, rise up, Daniel. You will. You will see further. Now what's happening here over the year is this southern field is moving up to the north. Moving up to the north. The overlay of the two fields I was just showing you. Okay? See, rising up to the spiritual place here is this place of balance. It happens with man as well. Man can find that balance and become enlightened and open his third eye. It says, rise up, down, you will see further. And this takes you into religion where they talk about your eyes will be opened. When they talk about the serpent and Adam and Eve story. No, you will not die. Your eyes will be opened. You will see further, type of thing. Rise up, down, you will see further. So he's coming up to this enlightenment. Coming up. So when the earth starts overlaying like this, you're coming into that divine equilibrium, that balance, that place of balance. The southern hemisphere rising, moving north to seek equilibrium. Daniel's eye will be opened. Third eye, see further. That could be a bit too much for people to comprehend. God, look, Enoch, knock, equinox, knock, God, E is for God, still, be still, knock, still is in balance. Now it is still balanced, equal in balance. They say still. Well, that's balance. Be still. A state of rest. That's how Earth came about in the first place, because it's still. It's a place of rest in the center of the black hole of creation. It's fixed and stationary at the center of a black hole. All the actions around the perimeter. In the middle, it's like the middle of a storm, the eye of the storm. It's still, at rest, at peace, balanced. That's what they're talking about here. When the Earth is balanced, then things happen. Now, we're fooled because we think it's here. The sun might be balanced here, the path of the sun, but not the magnetic field. There's more to that, okay? Because you've got to bear in mind, that is the 2, and that is the 3. So, you look at it that way, there's an imbalance, right? But you come back here, you think it's going to be balanced, but it's all connected to this balance. The magnetic fields of Earth balancing. Okay? Now another thing this guy, Jake here, was talking about was the 90 degrees sunrise, 270 sunsets, all this garbage, but anyway. Understanding how the southern hemisphere works. It turns like this. It has its own circle, has its own celestial motions. The north has its own, but they're mirrored. They're the same, but mirrored, inverted. So everything comes out of the south. So if you imagine, this is the Antarctica region, all the way around the south. It all comes out of the south no matter where you are. Like if you go back to here. All around here is the Antarctica. But it's not, it's out here. It's moving around here. See, flat earthers need a complete frickin' mind shift to get away from this one image. Because it's dual. You go that way, you're going to the Tropic of Cancer. You cross the tropics, keep going this way to get all the way out to the perimeter, which is all the way around here, of Antarctica. Okay? But the centre of the star trails, if you're star trailing photography, the centre's about here, 66 degrees. Can't be out here, the circle will be out here if I'm doing this flat plane motion. And that's beyond the 90 degrees. We can't get past this point here. The image gets cast back in because of this parabolic mirrored effect. This flat picture here gets put down there and brought back to the observer. Gets brought back in as a circle of stars. That's it there, being 66 degrees. Science tells you that at that point right there, you'll get the equal sun above the horizon, 24 hours. One day only, on the 21st of December. But if you carry it on further, it's only 66 there, all the way out here, you're going to get more days of 24-hour sunlight going around above the horizon, because the sun is down and out. It's down here in the pyramid. But each day it gradually moves back up and in. Up and in. That's what the pyramid's all about. They're telling us all the secrets. I know all the secrets of the pyramids, all the Egyptian secrets. I know what the Sphinx is doing. The spaceship that's out in front of the Sphinx, I know all about that. My Patreons do. Common folk out there in YouTube world don't. It's all explained. So this is the motion. You look at it, like I said, you take those as arcs of longitude. And everything's just always turning. Turns all the way around. Like this guy here. He didn't even understand this. The motions of the stars. When I said they drift west. He sees the stars go around like this. In star trail. Okay? But he's too flippin' stupid to know. Look at my thumb. You see my thumb? As it's going like this. It's going like this. Very slowly. Look, moving to my right. Because it moves all the way around this north here like this. See, this is thumb. Thumb's still in the north. That's what it does. Pretty much like our moon and everything does across our sky. Everything moves perpendicular to the observer. So your arc of horizon, well, just use that image. Let's say man. This is man's arc of horizon. There's man. Everything wanders over this arc. So obviously the image is going to change a little bit. Let's put the image on here. There's the thumb, still facing him all the time. Look at it, it's turning. Thumb, still facing him, perpendicular. Oh look, the moon turned. Not really, it just went over his arc of horizon. That's how everything works. Man's arc of horizon. That's how he sees everything. Understanding this, flat earthers didn't know about it. The suns, how many suns are there? 1, 2, 3, then many. They're too thick to understand that, but at least Dave from Old Earth is clicking on. Even he used to laugh at what I used to do, but at least he's waking up, so all kudos to him. The only guy awake at the moment, out of all these top flat earthers, all their bullshit numbers. I'll show you where all the suns are. First you start off with the actual sun in the centre Arctic, the pure plasma that man does not see, which is right up in here in the centre Arctic. Right there. Right on the horizon of the black hole of creation. You think, how can that be the black hole of creation if we're all from the black hole of creation? Well, that's the thing. You've got to open up your mind. I mean, I can't help you open up your brain. The black hole is the centre of the Milky Way. The Milky Way, one end comes out of the tropical gap, comes over like this, and the other end comes down here like this. The two fields meeting create bang, electrical system. If you want to think of it in our physical world terms, that's how it works. But right at the beginning, before our whole realm was created, it's an atom. The toroidal field, up the centre is the hyperboloid centre. All the energy is there. Two magnetic fields come together. Boom. So there's our top half. You've got the bottom half, that doesn't concern us. We're up here in this positive field. Negative down there. So this is a description of what the sun's doing. So down and out, all around the Antarctic, it's everywhere. All the way around the Antarctic is the sun. Everywhere. So if it's everywhere, then it's infinite. It's all above the horizon. Then it starts drifting back up and in. Up the pyramid. Right up to the June solstice. December solstice, down and out. Understanding these two magnetic fields. Finding equilibrium. Goes right up to the June solstice, and it's this intersection point is the declination of our sun. But there's more to that, because it gets to a point where the field pops into the south, because the south is all the way around here, remember? You've got to imagine this shape here. Up and down and out. So there's the plan view on its flat like this, 2D, or you've got to imagine it like this. That's out. The two fields are out now, because right out south is stretched right out from the north, all the way around like that. So the widest point is out here. Then it comes in and merges right up. You could say it goes like that at the top, but it doesn't quite. You've got to look at this image here. Phoenix rising. What is the phoenix rising? Well, you know, Jason's got a big following. He talks about this Phoenix thing all the time. Once again, that's garbage too. The Phoenix rising is all to do with the tropical gap. You know, in a Phoenix palm has a flower thing come out like this once a year. And can I draw it this way? And what's this? What does this look like? Does that look like the trunk of a phoenix? What comes up here? All the energy is created in here. It's magnetic induction between the two fields, the two hemispheres. The strong force, the weak force, as in capacitance. The phoenix, all the energy coming, you can say the energy is coming out like that. And then you got this flower that comes over and goes like that. That's the phoenix. There's the tree, one of the holy trees just mentioned in the Bible. There's 5 holy trees and then there's 12 holy trees. But to understand all that, you have to go to my Patreon. There's your Phoenix rising. Phoenix rising, moving in the magnetic field. Phoenix rising, coming up, changing, coming up to your God zone, balance. Phoenix rising. Where the field's coming up to find balance. Coming in from the south. The south coming underneath, slips underneath like this to overlay, to find equilibrium. Phoenix rising. You want to go that way, whatever. That's what it's all about, okay? 90 degrees sunrise, 270 sunsets. Now, in this other, just to show how this works, to prove it, in our summer in the southern hemisphere, in my arc of horizon, that's how it put me there. I can see the sun come up here, look, not in the west, not anywhere around here. No, it comes up way back here. Then you get more of a cycle, look, before it goes down. Because it goes right around here. The whole thing goes around here. But you only see half at a time, coming up and over my arc of horizon, going into the west. You can't see day and night together. Okay? I can see the moon way over here, look, almost south, full moon. That was June sometime. So if it's there, it's right up in the north, over in that northern hemisphere. Well, it appears to be, but there's a bit more to that as well. Okay, so everything works like this. So back to the star trail, remember? There's the star. It turns like that, so he's saying, oh look, it's moving east. How did the stars do that? Bloody bullshit. Doesn't realise that, look, it might turn that way, but look, it's drifting west. And that's what it does. So you track the stars on a star tracker and watch them go west. Because they're doing one big revolution all the way around the northern hemisphere. I've only drawn this in this part here, but you can draw this image over here as well. So there's a meshing point. The divine meshing point. But it's deceiving because it precedes man by 4 hours. A divine alignment. It's a planetary alignments. It's all about your celestial bodies as to the meaning to life. Where are they? What time? It's all about that. Man is, you conceive. So at your conception is your moon sign. No one was told that. I have to tell everybody all this stuff. Your moon sign is conception at your point of creation. Your sun sign is when you're brought into the light of the world. When you come out of your mother, you come into the light of the world. That's your sun sign. Your moon sign and alignments will come around again. That's when you need to be awake, be right here, to be illuminated, to open your third eye. It's all about alignments like this. everybody goes through an awakening, opening up the rest of their brain. Until the rest of their brain is open, they don't understand much. They think they're intelligent, but because they're dumb, they don't know they're dumb, basically. Earth is like two ring magnets. Earth is nothing but magnetism, magic. The human brain cannot fully comprehend magic. You've got to understand the 2D plane. Is the ecliptic plane. The 2D plane is the ecliptic plane through here. Creates the 3D realm, which is down inside the vortex. What's up here, through magnetism, through magic, illuminates all this volume, all this depth down here. Some of you know that by watching Ken Wheeler's videos. Under the ferrocell, creates all this depth. Remember, the Arctic and the Antarctic are both north poles. North, north, north. The centre north, the main north pole. All these other norths around the perimeter are mirrored images of the north. The weak force, the strong force. Weak always seeks strong. Strong seeks the weak, basically. So the two are trying to find equilibrium. That's why it comes up in the season, but then it goes back out again, doesn't it? What moves that is this pump. Our heart is shaped like a vortex, and that pumps our blood, doesn't it? Well, why can't this same system pump the Earth's magnetic field? What's doing it? There'd be another video. Okay, it's all about pressure, and our whole system works on hot and cold and high and low pressures to create vortexes. Everything's in a vortex. The main principles of creation, a vortex. Call it vortex mathematics if you want. Magnetism. Vortex and magnetism. There's two. There could be another one. Water. You've got to have the water. Water, vortex, magnetism. Now, if you don't understand all this, you should just keep watching it, because I can't make it any simpler. If you can't understand this, you shouldn't be looking. Okay? Back to my southern hemisphere image. That must be the center. So if you've got Polaris here, that must be Polaris Australis, Sigma Octantis, in the center of the star rotation. I aim my camera that way, towards the south, that will be the center. But I've just got them on flat planes, haven't I? It doesn't work that way. It's on an angle out in the south, like this. It's all parabolically projected back into the observer, like I'll be back here somewhere. No, there's the tropics. I'm here somewhere. It all gets cast back to the viewer. Okay? It's the Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer. Understand the pyramids. What are they doing? What's all those steps they're representing every day? The sun's moving up. They might not be equal, because it's doing a wider track. Might slow it down moving north. Then it starts speeding up, jumping more and more. But there comes to a point where there's 5 holy days where the sun is balanced. It does not go anywhere in declination. Right there. And that's when we see all the planets all sitting nice and level. Earth can't be a ball on the stupid permanent tilt. What would it be? No, let's not go there. The joke. At the point of equilibrium, when the magnetic fields of Earth, with a big 3:2 ratio, this overlaying creates a balance. The Physica Piscis, Pisces or whatever. Equilibrium. Where was I going? Forget already. All secrets, never before been revealed. Only on my channel. I'm the only guy who knows the whole flat earth system. Period. Or the only guy exposing it. Revealing it all. Remember, Earth is like this. There you go. But it's dual. There's a tropical gap. Split it. Split it. Bring this outer circle. Outer part out and around the perimeter, but it works like another circle. What, like this? Well, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's one revolution all the way around, so it will go slowly. Take the circle and go slowly around the northern hemisphere, right back to where it is. Another thing he's saying, the stars, because I mentioned they went 15 degrees, because I'm just trying to explain the overall effects of star rotation. So I just said 15 degrees per hour. But I've done a video earlier to show that it's not really what's actually happening. And he's come back to try and say they're doing 9 degrees. There's no way, because the sun, and I've done a video on that. If you really want to know, this is mind-blowing stuff. Why the sun is 4 minutes quicker than the stars. It's all described in the tortoise and the hare fable. They call it a fable, but it's basically a riddle. Only I can explain it, and I've done the video on it, and it's mind-blowing. So the sun is quicker than the stars by 4 minutes. So it means the stars are going that little bit slower. 4 minutes over a whole day. Can't be 9 degrees, surely. No, because the moon moves 13.18 degrees per day on average over the year. How could the stars do 9? All the stars come back to the same location every night. They do this one cycle. They don't go anywhere else. They just do their cycle and back up again. Up and back up again. That's a half cycle all the way down there. Then it spins around, come back up. They don't go anywhere. They only change a little bit. They change in the southern hemisphere. Northern hemispheres are not perishable. The southern stars are, because look, they go under like this. They disappear. Because nothing crosses the tropics, right, remember? So I've said in earlier videos that the overlaying creates the new constellations coming through as the season's changing. And I'm right. I just haven't explained it properly yet. But you've got to realise these southern stars do perish in this overlay. These outer stars, but right back at Sigma Octantis won't, because it's still there, isn't it? Because it doesn't fully overlay like that. There's an equilibrium there. And let you go way over that way like that, and it doesn't do that. That's equal there. So these stars in the southern hemisphere, as they turn, they start disappearing. Go around the back there, and then they finally start coming out again as the seasons change, as the days go by. It's all there. I've just described the whole flat earth system in this one video. Pretty much. But it won't see the light of day really, because YouTube has basically completely blocked me. So if anybody gets to see this video, you want to share it to every site you know, everybody you know, so they can start to understand it. Otherwise it just goes nowhere. Wake these two jerk-offs up. People think they're clever. People surround them like they're some sort of Fonzie, like in Happy Days or something, and just stay there and think he's a clever bugger. Yeah, he knows. Just hang out over in this little pack, little gang, little gangs. Frickin' pathetic. You open your mind, get out, leave your country and see the rest of the world, okay? Don't stick with a bunch of fucking retards. Now, if you think I know what I'm talking about, think about joining my Patreon for a few bucks. You get more information. I tend to put some, in-depth stuff in my Patreon, my Saints tier there, Cardinals and Saints. So even if you just jumped over there for just a month, it's only $20 American. It's quite interesting. I shouldn't say that though, actually, because I've got some personal stuff in there. I don't leave out. I don't want to expose to the rest of the frickin' Drongo world. So I might just take down some personal stuff there. Well, thanks for watching, and put a likes up. Don't forget to subscribe and certainly share it. Thanks for watching. Oh, we never went over the suns. Sorry, let's go back to the suns. How many suns are there? Well, first we start off with the central sun, the main sun of the whole divine system, which is back here at creation. We do not see it though, but we get an image out here at the end of the Milky Way. Remember, the Milky Way is like a straw in a teacup coming around the perimeter, spin your water or spin your tea, and we get the image out here in the tropics, because that's where the energy is being built up. We imagine we see it there. We don't actually see it there. We see it within our own arcs of horizon. It's all a projection. It's not a physical attribute or whatever. It's not a physical body. It's a projection. Nothing's physical in our realm when you think about it. Nothing. Even you come right back to here. Nothing. It collapses back to nothing. It's an illuminated realm. Okay? So you got the main one, and you got this one. So you got the one in the center north, one you don't see or know about. That's the timekeeper. And then you've got this projected one that comes around to the tropical gap. You're supposed to believe is in the tropical gap, because in physics and for our mental understanding, it's how it works. But you've got your projection of the sun on the northern hemisphere, and you've got a projection of the sun on the southern hemisphere. So there's the Milky Way coming out like that, because it's all mirrored from this side. There's our sun in the southern hemisphere. There's their one projected out in the northern hemisphere. But then, so there's three. You got 1, 2, 3. Or you can go back to the one that's in the tropics, say 4. But then it comes down to many, because every man sees an image within his arc of horizon. If he's standing, that's his arc of horizon. He'll see the sun come up from the east, go all the way over, settle in the west. He stands here, everything comes back to him perpendicular. The sun is in many places. The Egyptians knew it all. That's why they made that claim. The sun is in many places, but only seen in one. Man can only see one image of the sun. Don't come at me and say, hey, what do you reckon about those 2 images of the sun? I'm not really interested. Unless I see it, I'm not even going to go there. But that could be, if you think about it, it could be the old sun that's about to die off and the new one's going to replace it, because that's all been described in all the ancient myths. Why did Zeus get upset? Why do you want, or the other stories where they want to kill the sun off, the SON sun, because he knows he'll take his place. Kill off all the 2-year-old babies. That's probably a different story. Yeah. But eventually the sun does die and a new one replaces it. It's what full solar eclipses are about. But that's another deep story. Understanding these things, why, you get more during the summer, the sun movement, which is more proof to show you that we get our circular image like this, coming around the observer in the south. Or if you're in the northern hemisphere, your sun comes up way around here, not just east, way around here, and goes all the way around to there. There's the night side. And also realise that the sun passes through the backdrop of night. Okay, so imagine everything is black, and it's the sun and its light that moves through it, passing over all the stars, because it's 4 minutes quicker, so it's passing them over 1 full year, does a full lap extra, but not quite, nearly, but because it stops short by lapping the stars over 1 year, that little recession there is the precession of the equinoxes, because the sun will drop back 4 minutes every year. That's the only change. So the stars, the same patterns, they just do the same thing year in, year out, but it's where the sun is that changes things. Okay? Over the year, but at the same time over the year, you've got to realise this vortex here is pumping up and down. Pumps up to the June solstice, goes back down for the December solstice. So what effectively happens, you've got this flat line up here, right, the 2D plane, but it works like this. It actually goes somewhere along the lines. It goes like this. That's when it flexes down. When it flexes down like this, the ecliptic plane flexes down. That's down and out. That's the December solstice, where the sun's all down and out around here. But then there's the point where it goes back up and in. And that's when the sun is seen projected out in our realm, out into these areas, where it's up and in. I haven't quite drawn it right like that. You could say it's come down here. It's a bigger down and out, but then there's a smaller up and in. It's the symbol, Meta uses. It's just like that. Down and out out here. Up and in when the sun's up and in. Okay, I don't think this bulges up like that. You never know, could do. It comes down like this. But I've done a video like this to describe all this, all about the sovereign orb. The sovereign orb is all in here. It's all about that. Understanding the sovereign orb. That's on my Patreon. That's deep, very deep. A lot of this is deep actually. That's why the average guy can't comprehend it. As a point, there's a saying, out of darkness comes light, but the darkness comprehends it not. So you imagine the backdrop of night, along comes the little old sun and all its light. It passes over it. Out of this darkness comes the light, but the darkness comprehends it not. It's not altering anything. The sun just moves around with the backdrop of night. There's 3 ways of looking at that, because the central vortex of creation is the black hole at the center, and the sun is projected. The projection. Let's draw it up here somewhere. Rub a bit off, shall we? Let's come over here. The black hole of creation has the sun on its horizon, but that sun, daylight, is projected across the hole. Out of darkness, the black hole, comes the light of the sun, illuminates the earth in the daylight. This is night time. That goes back to understanding the Milky Way, but there's videos on that too. I've done everything. I've described the whole flat earth system. If you really want to understand it, just go back and keep watching the videos, because no one else has explained it like I have. No one can. Okay? Rakia, firmament. It's not over the whole earth. It's just the arch. The arch of the 2 Milky Ways that meet the sun. The real sun. The one you see at night at the back of the Milky Way. That is the firmament. It's a firm set of stars passing through the ether. Consider this the ether. The magnetic field is the ether. 15 degrees per hour. Didn't they find that 15 degree motion? The ether? In the experiment? Globe busters? And the spinning ballers wanted you to think that was the Earth that was moving 15 degrees per hour? The ether moves 15 degrees per hour. That's what moves all the celestial bodies. But because they're on different cycles on the ecliptic plane, because everything comes from the ecliptic plane, and all the energy comes out of the center, then the energy is going to reduce on the way out from the center. It's red shifting, blue shifting is in around the center. But we're created from the 3D realm. So this motion in here is what we see out here. And basically where we're from. See, there's a lot to it, isn't it? There's all these different layers. So if you want to understand the truth, this is the only place you'll find it. If you have a question, I can answer it. So I get a lot of globies coming in, ask these, make dumb statements or ask silly questions, then they just take off because they know I know. So they go back to their masters and go, shit, we can't scare this guy off. He's got balls of iron. What are we going to do? Oh, we'll shut him down then. We'll shadow ban him. You know, hide his subscribers, or subscribers hide him from the subscribers. They're doing their best, playing out their playbook. What more can they do without making it obvious? You know, they make it too obvious, then I can probably sue someone for, you know, what do you call it? Not racism. The other one. Anyway, you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm shadow banned for sure. Like this guy said, actually, same thing. Get all these subscribers coming in, then all of a sudden, and over the years it should be like compounding, but they don't. It just flat line. Like I used to have 10 subscribers a day, all of a sudden it stopped. And it's just never grown. It's just never grown. So from 2,000 subscribers to 8,000, you never get that compounding interest in your site. So you know you're being shadow banned. You're not allowed to learn the truth, okay? You're not allowed to know the truth. Understand all this. Balance, magnetic field balance. Magnetic field balance, as opposed to where you see the projected sun. So you can think of the projected image of the sun as opposed to Earth's equilibrium, magnetic fields equalizing. Okay, thanks for watching.